The young princess, a valiant warrior for her kingdom and the hope of her people, was captured by the Demon King's forces after a defeat. Along with her, the sentient holy sword, Aix, was also captured. Despite Aix's belief that the strong-willed princess would never surrender, she soon faced an unexpected challenge. The Demon King's forces needed intelligence from her and sent their chief interrogator, Doga. Aix accused them of violating the Geneva Conventions, but Doga retorted that these were human laws, which his brutal army did not follow. Princess assured Aix that she would not yield to any torture, but Doga then revealed their unconventional weapon. A buttery, crispy toast. Mocking the simplicity of the weapon, Aix doubted its effectiveness. However, the sight and smell of the buttery toast tempted the princess. Who had vowed never to succumb to delicacies. As Doga waved a fan, the aroma of the toast, combined with the fragrance of sweet bread, overwhelmed her senses. The sound of the crispy bread breaking was irresistible to the starving princess, especially when paired with leftover steak sauce. Seeing Doga enjoy the toast dipped in sauce, the princess confessed. Pleased with obtaining the military intelligence, Doga denied the princess a meal, deeming her no longer of any value beyond the information she provided. As he prepared for a toast party, Aix was speechless at the humane method of interrogation. However, after delivering the intelligence, Doga learned that the Demon King's forces were too weak to win, even with the information. He decided to delay releasing the hostages and extract more intelligence from the princess until they could secure a real victory for the Demon King. Meanwhile, the well-fed and sleeping princess was unaware of the further culinary tortures that awaited her. Doga approached Princess to begin a new round of interrogation. Aix smirked, recalling that Princess's vulnerability the previous day was due to her hunger. But now she was well-fed and wouldn't succumb again. Unexpectedly, Doga produced takoyaki, sweet yesterday, but savory today. Aix was about to claim Princess had tasted all delicacies, yet she had never tried takoyaki. She had only seen it from afar during kingdom festivities, enjoyed by the townsfolk with their families. Tears fell as Princess admitted her envy of those people. Seizing the moment, Doga teased her with a freshly cooked takoyaki near her mouth. Aix sensed trouble, and soon Princess was indulging in the delicious mix of sweet and savory sauces, crispy outer shell, and tender octopus inside. Overwhelmed by the taste, she disclosed the location of the kingdom's armory to Doga. She even joyously made takoyaki for Aix, who was speechless. Despite matching wits with Princess, the Demon King's situation wasn't much better. Doga had revealed the location of their most powerful weapon, but the Demon King hesitated to use it, finding it too dangerous. Doga accepted this excuse and planned another interrogation, pondering a new idea as he checked the time. The next day before dawn, Doga visited Princess's cell. Aix complained about their rudeness at such an hour. Princess thought they aimed to deprive her of sleep, a tactic she wasn't afraid of, having endured sleepless nights on the battlefield and even during gaming marathons. However, Doga then presented a bowl of ramen, causing Princess's stomach to growl. Aix warned that late-night eating was fattening. Understanding yet tempted by the forbidden delight, Princess was outraged as Doga happily slurped his noodles in front of her. Aix tried to comfort her, assuring it would be over once the bowl was finished. Princess wiped her drool and stood firm, but then Doga brought out a bowl of rice. "No, not rice with ramen," she protested, but couldn't resist and even pre-ordered her meal, spilling secrets several times in a short span. As Princess indulged in the ramen, Doga even served her extra char siu. Aix was dismayed, reminding everyone they were still in a dungeon. Doga relayed new intelligence, only to be told the Demon King had already gone to sleep. A new interrogation officer arrived, eager to take over Princess's case. "Let's see what new delicacies you bring," she challenged. Hearing about the new interrogator, Aix was shocked. The newcomers, Yuki and Inky, were mid-level interrogators. Aix felt Princess wouldn't yield to them. "Baby, you've been proven wrong many times, just give up," he thought. Doga mentioned that although these two were lower in rank than himself, they could perform an exciting team combo in video games. The two then sat in the building and started playing. Hearing it was a video game, Ax scoffed, doubting that the solitary knight princess could be lured by such games. At that moment, Princess approached with a fascinated expression, exclaiming how fun it looked. However, she soon regained her composure. Having been expected to excel due to her talent since childhood, Princess had always focused on sword training and had few friends. She claimed she didn't need friends, but Inky invited her to play the game. Doga then came out and told Princess that the game could be played by 4 people. Princess's excitement was evident. Although there wasn't much negotiation, playing games with friends was joyful. The 4 played intensely, and Princess emerged victorious, with the others praising her skills enthusiastically. Doga got the intelligence and went to report to the Demon King. Princess instinctively wanted to schedule the next session, but hesitated. Yuki and Inky declared they were now friends and hoped to play together again, even adding each other as friends. "Wait, Princess, you have a phone?" Yuki wondered why she hadn't called for help, and Aix was also puzzled. The Demon King of the Demon King's fortress was terrifying. His subordinates relayed the intelligence that the kingdom's defenses were weak on Wednesdays. However, the Demon King mentioned he had to attend a tutorial that day. Doga, learning this, felt helpless, but resolved to extract more secrets from Princess. An interrogation officer, due to return in a couple of days, could take over. This officer was a leopard ear lady, Kroll. Aix thought Princess wouldn't be fazed by any beast, but when Kroll brought out an adorable little bear, Princess was nearly overwhelmed by its cuteness. Aix realized they were in big trouble now. Kroll took away the bear's toy ball, leaving it looking pitifully at Princess. Shocked, Princess asked if the yellow-haired one was a demon, but she soon realized that although Kroll played the villain, she was also struggling with the guilt of taking away the toy. Kroll stubbornly claimed it was her subordinate and that she would never feel sorry for it. However, faced with the bear's adorable expression, Kroll eventually softened, hugging the bear and apologizing profusely. Aix, baffled by the situation, was deeply shocked. Unexpectedly, Princess felt moved by Kroll's refusal to betray a friend for the mission and declared, "I'm touched. I'm going to snitch." Aix commented, "Is my host not thinking straight?" After her confession, Princess began cuddling with the bear, but the snitching proved futile. Indeed, it was a perfect match. Kroll wasn't really a villain. Her job involved calling ferocious animals to help with demolition work. Doga's new interrogation began. Princess was blindfolded and brought to an open-air hot spring, where a gentle big sister named Giant chatted with her. Aix didn't understand their purpose, saying Princess would never succumb to such minor favors. "Are you talking about the same princess who has eaten toast and ramen, played games, and cuddled a bear?" Princess is already enjoying the hot spring. However, she was raised to never act spoiled. She asserts that she will not give in. Meanwhile, Aix is dazzled by her charm. Giant, feeling pity for Princess, decides to let her act spoiled in her arms, explaining that it's not a way to escape. The warmth and gentle touch make Princess involuntarily cry out, "Mom." Eventually, Princess confesses while enjoying a massage. Doga reports the intelligence to the higher-ups, but it turns out to be ineffective. Seeing a child wanting snacks nearby, Doga starts a new interrogation with snacks. Aix dismisses common snacks since Princess has always enjoyed countless delicacies, strictly supervised by an honor knight, and even has military rations and instant noodles during field operations. Princess has never seen such crude snacks, but now drools over them. It turns out the honor knight secretly bought these coarse snacks as a reward during training outings. A frustrated Aix thinks, "That old man?" Princess pleads with it not to tell the queen, explaining the snacks were not expensive but quite cheap. Aix mocks, "Why do you have such a common touch, Princess?" The interrogation begins with Doga constantly eating cookies. Princess initially thinks it's trivial until she realizes each cookie has a different design, which Doga completely ignores. Frustrated by such waste of carefully designed patterns, Princess feels like she's watching an executioner and finally confesses. However, the information she gives is about the queen's shoe size. Doga says if the Demon King isn't satisfied, she'll return tomorrow. A helpless Aix thinks she definitely will return. Meanwhile, Princess starts trying the cookies. Outside, the knights think about rescuing Princess, while Yuki and Inky plan to invite her to an amusement park. They think of breaking her out of jail, but Princess finds it unreasonable since she's still imprisoned. Yuki suggests asking Doga first. Aix thinks it's impossible, and sure enough, Doga refuses. Princess is shocked, wondering if she doesn't even have the freedom to go to an amusement park while under surveillance. A resigned Aix thinks it's normally impossible. However, Doga says it's not entirely out of the question if they hand over intelligence. Aix thinks they are shameless, suspecting the amusement park invitation is just a ploy to extract information. Doga insists she isn't that unethical and that the invitation is genuine. Princess remains silent for over an hour. Doga says as soon as Princess confesses, they are ready with clothes and can magically transport her to the amusement park. Aix still tries to persuade Princess that they are deceiving her. Princess says she's used to it, having been betrayed by teammates on the battlefield before. Doga finally admits defeat as the park is now closed. Princess regrets it. She actually wanted to go to the amusement park, but betrayal is an unavoidable fact. Unexpectedly, at this moment, Princess received a message from Inky and her group. It turned out that neither of them had gone to the amusement park, but had been waiting for her at the entrance all along. Shocked, Princess wondered if true friendship really existed. Overwhelmed, she confessed right there and then, and was quickly dressed in a cute skirt and transported to the front of the amusement park. The trio, accompanied by Doga and her group, had a blast playing all day, extremely happy. The intelligence Doga extracted turned out to be about the king preferring the sea over land, leaving everyone wondering what use such information could possibly serve. Princess, are you really just playing with them? But no. The efficient matching system assured that Princess's intelligence wasn't that high. Doga received a message that tomorrow's interrogator would be the Demon King's daughter. The next day, Princess saw Doga kneeling in the prison, announcing that today's interrogator would be the Demon King's daughter, Komama. Facing such a cute little girl, Princess nearly faltered but was reminded by Aix that this was the Demon King's daughter, and not to take her lightly. Komama expressed that, as the Demon King's daughter, more was always expected of her, yet she had never succeeded in an interrogation. Seeing Komama about to cry, Princess quickly comforted her, encouraging her to conduct the interrogation and promising to confess. Aix was going crazy by the side. Komama then began the official interrogation by popping bubble wrap in front of Princess, claiming it was her favorite activity and believed others enjoyed it too, aiming to make Princess envious. Truthfully, Princess was not envious, but Komama was too adorable, and she wanted to confess. After Komama had popped all the bubble wrap and thought she had failed again as tears were almost falling, Princess immediately confessed. The information revealed was about the kingdom's military signals. Doga informed Komama that after the interrogation, Princess would no longer be of use and could be dealt with as she pleased. Komama invited Princess to play a game of tag. Aix watched as Princess easily unlocked her shackles and started playing games with Komama. Is Princess really here for a demon vacation? The Demon King, having received the intelligence, was told by his subordinates it could be sent to the frontline chief of staff. Enraged, the Demon King declared it was his daughter's first successful interrogation, and he intended to keep it as a home decoration, not sharing it with anyone. How are you even a Demon King? While those at the front line only needed to focus on fighting, he had much more to consider. Meanwhile, the knights attempting to rescue Princess were still mumbling and setting up barriers. The next interrogation was again conducted by Doga, who even wore a cheongsam and served Chinese cuisine. Aix panicked, knowing Princess's favorite was Chinese food. However, Princess remained expressionless, chuckling and saying she often enjoyed Chinese cuisine with the honor knight, truly liking it. However, Xiao Longbao was an exception because she always burned her tongue on the soup inside and generally avoided them. Aix finally felt relieved, but perhaps too soon. Doga knows the true way to savor soup dumplings. Place the dumpling on a spoon, puncture the skin, and let the savory broth flow out. Take a light sip and exclaim, "Wow, amazing!" Seeing Princess's enchanted look, Doga quickly places more dumplings before her. The dumpling sways gently on the spoon. Broth, skin, and filling combine in a single bite, bursting with flavor. Princess reveals the shift change time while savoring the dumplings. Overjoyed by the taste, Princess feels blissful, and Demon King secures the vital shift information. His advisors suggest attacking on Sunday, but Demon King refuses. preferring to watch his favorite live cartoons instead of recordings. Meanwhile, a knight named Lucius casts a sleep spell on Demon King's castle, sneaks in, and awakens Princess. Despite her usual cool exterior, and other girls swooning over handsome knights, Princess has honed herself into a weapon. Yet, she secretly enjoys girl comics, dreaming of a prince's rescue. When Lucius removes his mask, revealing an older face, Princess's romantic illusions are shattered by reality, and she instantly calms down. She lifts the still sleeping AX, asking Lucius their next move. Lucius warns the barrier will soon fail and suggests teleporting away, which requires close proximity. Trying to appear indifferent, Princess grows uncomfortable as Lucius's hand moves up during his chant. Unable to tolerate it, she sends the rescuer flying with a slash. Lucius teleports back alone. The next day, new interrogations begin. AX urges Princess to endure, confident of their eventual rescue. Princess guiltily looks away. Doga meets with Demon King, who complains none of the extracted information about the strongest weapons, lacks security days, or battle signals are useful, suggesting Doga's abilities may have waned. Boss, maybe the problem is with you. To assess Doga's skills, Demon King demands a personal interrogation by Doga. If Doga fails to impress, he risks losing his position. Doga spares no one. Kanaji, a subordinate of Demon King, believes that interrogating Demon King will not succeed. After all, Demon King is the strongest being among the demons with a very firm will. Doga pulls out a can of frozen beer. Demon King chuckles, mentioning his nightly drinks with the queen and his experience with countless fine wines. He scoffs at the idea that a common canned beer could impress him. Without any further ado, Doga opens the can with a crisp snap, catching Demon King's interest. Doga advises not to underestimate common canned beer, mentioning a special pouring technique. Pour a bit first, then quickly raise the can. This creates foam. Demon King is shocked. This method will indeed create bubbles. Doga confirms, stating that the resulting bubbles will be soft, unlike the thick foam from a careless pour. As the castle of Demon King begins to wobble, he can't believe he is swayed by the desire for beer. Kanaji is also in disbelief, knowing Demon King's usual resilience against heroes. With encouragement from Kanaji, Demon King holds on for a while longer. Doga simply remarks that the soft foam will disappear over time. Immediately, Demon King confesses, enchanted by the soft foam of the beer. After tasting it, he feels like he's in heaven, not realizing it's not just the beer, but a feared light magic. Kanaji is shocked to see Demon King purified. Doga retains his position, but realizes he obtained no useful information. He plans to change the interrogation method. The next day, Doga tells Princess about the new interrogation approach. AX, accustomed to the routine, believes Princess will eventually confess regardless of the method. Princess is shocked by X's lack of trust. Unexpectedly, Doga brings in a weapons craftsman, stating today's subject is X. AX insists it is impossible, being a royal sword that has served for 1,000 years and fought alongside legendary knights. The craftsman starts a thorough maintenance before X finishes talking, making X squeal in comfort. Without testing, X knows its sharpness has increased. Called back by Princess, X claims it enjoyed the treatment but won't confess. Princess praises X, admitting she would have confessed 3 times already. The craftsman admits defeat, wanting to provide a full maintenance, but it's interrogation time. If X confesses, she can proceed with a complete sharpening. AX reassures Princess, loyal as her faithful weapon, and won't betray her for small favors. But a full sharpening could make it even sharper, which is good for Princess, eh? So, X quickly confesses. The delighted Aix tells Doga that the demon blade and fire sword are a pair of lover weapons. Princess stares at it for a long while. Later at night, she tells Aix she's disappointed in it too, but will try to endure future interrogations. The next day, the interrogator named Kroll arrived. Princess was pleased to see him, as they both shared a fondness for cute pets. Kroll engaged warmly in conversation with Princess, and even invited her to visit his home next time. It took reminders from Aix and Doga for them both to snap back to the present. Kroll remarked that this interrogation was quite strict and quickly revealed his teammate, the Mad Wolf. Aix was shocked, knowing that wolves are among the strongest in the monster realm, although Princess had defeated them before. However, this mad wolf was said to be several times stronger than those Princess had defeated. Surprisingly, the mad wolf lifted its paw, mentioning it had a strange, delightful scent. Princess thought she was too enthusiastic, as she had never smelled the wolf's paw before. How could she know that scent? Kroll urged her to just ask. Princess sensed a wild beast's odor and refused, leaving Kroll in disbelief. He even betrayed some information to make Princess smell the paw, revealing that Doga's phone wallpaper was his newborn niece. Reluctantly, Princess smelled the paw and discovered a sweet, popcorn-like scent with a soft texture. This intrigued her, possibly opening a new world for her. Due to Kroll's promotion, he decided to invite Princess to his home for a paw party, including Doga. Doga, feeling resigned, asked if there were any rabbits, to which Kroll affirmed. Feeling like they were becoming close friends, Aix was speechless, wondering where the interrogation had gone. The next interrogation was taken over by Kamama, who loved parks and thought Princess would envy that. She invited Princess to join her at the park, where Princess found the kittens adorable and likely to confess again. They played together in the park, and although Princess didn't dispute the confession, she felt royal upbringing wouldn't allow her to play in parks. She was envious but maintained that, as a carefully raised royal, she wouldn't indulge. However, Kamama's call of sister and her invitation quickly broke Princess's resolve. They had a great time, and Doga even called Yuki and others to join, turning it into a team-building session in the park. On the way back, Princess asked Kamama which activity she liked most. Kamama was puzzled why she had to choose just one, as she enjoyed all the activities. Princess thoughtfully agreed, saying she liked them all too. Meanwhile, Kanaji reported to Demon King, whose chief of military affairs asked if he could borrow a note with a password. Demon King, distracted by watching Kamama's videos from the park, had no idea where he had placed that note. He remarked that his army had battled to this point without success, and they shouldn't blame the kingdom. The new interrogation began by the riverbank, which Princess initially thought was for playing and was somewhat excited about. However, Doga mentioned the task was to roast marshmallows. Princess, disliking the sticky texture of marshmallows, suggested changing the activity to playing by the river. Doga explained that roasted marshmallows differed from regular ones, and that they had come to the riverbank to safely make a fire, humorously noting how particular the demon race was about safety and ethics. As soon as Doga brought out the crispy roasted marshmallows, Princess started drooling. X quickly intervened, warning that tasting them might lead to an obsession. He advised that it's best not to start at all. Doga, using reverse psychology, tricked Princess into trying one. "My goodness, this is delicious," she exclaimed, very pleased with the taste. Doga offered more marshmallows in exchange for secrets. Shocked, Princess asked, "Does that mean I get 4 for 4 secrets?" Doga clarified that one secret could earn her many marshmallows. "You're too kind," she said, enjoying the marshmallows and playing by the river. Meanwhile, Doga relayed to Kanaji that the city gates were vulnerable to fire. Kanaji remarked that few creatures aren't afraid of fire these days. Since Doga was by the river, Kanaji suggested extracting more information. Doga was worried about the strain of 2 interrogations in one day on Princess. "She doesn't seem that fragile," X overheard on the phone and informed Princess. She also felt unable to withstand 2 interrogations a day. X reminded her not to give information out of pity. Princess assured she wouldn't, thinking the troubled Doga was too naive. Doga felt unsuited to be an interrogator. Just then, Princess sat beside him and accidentally let slip that the king likes to wear triangle underwear. Surprised, Doga wondered if Princess was showing sympathy. "I don't know, it just slipped out," she replied, then invited Doga to play in the water. They shared a laugh, and Aix sighed. "Well, it's not important information anyway." At that moment, Princess noticed Yuki and others were also called over. It turned out Doga had planned to let Princess play with her friends after the interrogation. No wonder she was willing to share information. They even live-streamed a fish grilling session afterward. The wind blew Doga's hat away, and Princess flew to fetch it. Doga ended up falling into the water trying to catch her, and they laughed heartily, quickly becoming closer. Is Princess really here on vacation? One might wonder. But since the second piece of information was also trivial, the interrogation had to continue. due to a sunburn from the previous day by the river. Gentle Mommy Giant thought the hot springs would be too painful for Princess and decided to take her to a sauna instead. Princess had never heard of this activity and was bewildered to be taken to the sauna. She found it extremely hot and thought it was a new form of interrogation designed to make her confess secrets due to the unbearable heat. Princess felt she had experienced both extreme cold and heat, so a sauna was nothing to worry about. She remarked that it had been a long time since she had sweated so much, as she had been living a laid-back lifestyle with 3 meals a day. Surprisingly, she found the sensation of sweating quite comfortable. It suddenly dawned on her that she was in a high-temperature hell, yet she felt relaxed. It turned out her mom hadn't lied to her. Her mom had advised her not to stay too long in the sauna for the first time. Stepping out of the room, Princess felt exceptionally cool and instantly comfortable. Her mom also suggested a cold bath, which might feel chilly at first, but would soon blend with the body. After the bath, lying down for a rest followed by drinking yogurt felt incredibly blissful. Eventually, Princess confessed. Later, Doga took Princess to a cottage surrounded by demons, including one who had previously fought with Princess. She remembered splitting him in half. X commented on the quick recovery of the opponent. Princess thought these demons were all her defeated foes, but Doga shook his head, saying the leader just happened to pass by. The event was organized by Yuki, intended as a courage test. The leader declared his intention to scare Princess to death. X mocked his cute mask, suggesting he looked scarier without it. The demons then rushed into the room to scare people. Princess wondered why Yuki wasn't present. Doga explained that Yuki had caught a cold from sleeping uncovered and was unavailable, leading the event in his place. Princess wanted to visit Yuki, but Doga said she couldn't go anywhere until the questioning was over, unless she confessed early. Before acts could even start, Princess had already revealed that there was a secret passage to the castle underground from the eastern mountain. Thus, Princess successfully visited Yuki, joined by other friends. Doga even fed Yuki porridge. Such unity and friendship. Kamama advanced successfully, and the Demon King, to reward his daughter, asked her to state a wish. Kamama wanted to ride high with her father, but had been too shy to ask due to his authority. Touched, the Demon King made sure to fulfill her wish, joyfully strolling around the castle together. He shared that he had previously attended a favorite voice actor's concert with restraint due to his dignity, vowing to be more upfront next time. He asked if Kamama had any other wishes, and she wanted to play house and ride horses, which he gladly fulfilled, spending much time playing with Kamama. One wonders how beautiful the Demon King's wife must be for Kamama to inherit such good genes, resembling her father in everything but her eyes. The Demon King might not be a reliable boss, but he is indeed a loving father. The Demon King returned to Demon King City with his daughter. Kanaji came to report, but the Demon King declared he was resting today, and Kanaji left without hesitation. But why does the Demon King live in a human world house? Meanwhile, the kingdom's password that the Demon King had lost was unknowingly used by Kamama for drawing. On the other side, Princess and Aix were playing a word chain game. As a child educated by the royal elite, Princess was naturally cultured. The next round of questioning was approaching, and Princess thought little of it until Doga brought out a branding iron. Aix, sweating profusely, wondered if the Demon King's army was getting serious. Aix believed that after surviving the lava war, this questioning was nothing. Unexpectedly, Princess shivered. Aix thought her will had softened from the previous easy questioning. Princess denied it, but she was nearly crying. Then, Doga used the branding iron to grill cheese, which relieved Princess. However, the smell of cheese tempted her, and she confessed again. This time, the information did not satisfy the Demon King, as he had already obtained it. Doga decided no more questioning could take place the next day. The following day, Princess was suddenly notified of a health checkup to ensure a healthy confinement environment. Health checks were scheduled every month. AX remarked on the overly generous treatment. Princess shivered, revealing her fear of needles despite her battlefield bravery. Doga had no choice but to offer a local anesthetic patch, stating that anesthesia would require a confession. Without hesitation, Princess revealed the location of a national treasure and quickly completed the blood draw. AX also underwent a health check, and both were very healthy. The Demon King received the information about the national treasure, but felt too pitiful to proceed with his plan as the treasure could be stolen. Meanwhile, Lucius attacked Demon King City again. His previous plan had failed, not realizing Princess had interrupted it. He thought he had been too focused on his spell and accidentally released her. After applying a sleep spell this time, Lucius told Princess he had learned new magic with a limitation. It couldn't transfer objects and life simultaneously. This meant Princess's clothes would be transported first. Comforting herself, Princess thought being naked was nothing compared to her battlefield experiences. Still, she couldn't accept it and tried to stop Lucius's teleportation. However, Lucius couldn't hear nor see her. Princess realized that if teleported, she might appear naked in front of others, which made her feel like dying. Considering defeating Lucius would only lead to repeated attempts, she still couldn't accept appearing naked. Sorry, Lucius. The next day, Doga gave Princess new clothes, and Aix was curious about what had happened the night before. Princess stayed silent. Today, Princess remained captive and couldn't escape her interrogation, even held in place by a cute kitten. Princess felt that mere cuteness couldn't make her yield. The holy sword held no hope. Kroll chuckled. This is just the beginning. Cuteness is never the key to interrogation. Princess then realized something was wrong as the white cat kept sleeping on her lap, making her legs numb. She didn't want to move and wake the cat. Despite having endured wars, Princess stated that the numbness was nothing and she wouldn't move until the cat awoke. Kroll smiled, but noted that the white cat wasn't the only one around. A calico cat appeared behind her, known for its affectionate rubbing. It then rubbed against Princess's numb leg, causing her to confess. That's too underhanded, I can't forgive these kittens, she said, but she calmed down after being touched by the calico. But it just rubbed your foot, didn't it? Meanwhile, Kroll provided cat snacks for Princess to feed them. The white cat also jumped down to scratch the holy sword. Truly, Kroll's team served as a healing squad. Doga quickly relayed the information to Kanaji. Kanaji mentioned that the Demon King had gone to bed early because tomorrow was Kamama's kindergarten sports day. Doga realized they couldn't do much about it. Thinking about cheering for Kamama at the sports day, they prepared a lunchbox and invited Princess to join. The next day, Princess and the team went to the sports day. Although she didn't know the children, Princess found them very cute. Soon, it was Kamama's turn to perform. Yuki noticed that Inky's brother was also in Kamama's team. The two kids sprinted fiercely, but Inky's brother won. The Holy Sword was worried, as he had just beaten the Demon King's daughter. Yuki and others mentioned it didn't matter. A competition is just that, with no regard for status. Watching the children all day almost healed Princess. Next was the kangaroo jump event, a parent-child activity. Princess and the Holy Sword looked at the Demon King, their empire's and humanity's enemy. However, seeing the Demon King play happily with Kamama, Princess doubted if he truly was the Demon King. No real Demon King could smile so brightly and cheerfully. It must be a stand-in, they agreed. Unbeknownst to them, the Demon King had heard of Princess's visit and planned a duel with her in the afternoon. During lunch, Doga opened her carefully prepared lunchbox, impressing everyone. Princess thanked Doga, but was worried it was part of her interrogation. Doga reassured her that today was Saturday, and as they were part of the Demon King's army, which observed weekends off, there would be no interrogation. The Holy Sword was shocked. So the Demon King's army is a conscientious employer? Enough, said another. I'm about to break. The group then enjoyed the meal. Princess noticed that Kamama and the Demon King's proxy were also dining, thinking they secured a good spot through the Demon King's influence. Unbeknownst to her, the Demon King himself had queued up for that spot. In the afternoon, the competition started, and Kroll passed by with a bear. This competition was a borrowing race, which the Demon King declared as his duel with Princess. In this race, participants run to the finish line to get a task, and then borrow the item listed on a piece of paper. The Demon King had made a deal with the teacher in advance, arranging Kamama's task to be, borrow the thing you love most. He believed his daughter would surely choose him despite her friendship with Princess. He thought only their bond was the strongest, and aimed to make Princess jealous. Everyone soon noticed Kamama's task. Princess was still happily wondering what would happen if Kamama chose her. Unexpectedly, another child drew the task of borrowing the Holy Sword. Meanwhile, the Demon King awaited his daughter's choice, only to find Kamama picking her mother. Wow, the queen is really beautiful, someone exclaimed. The Demon King, though frustrated, found it quite acceptable that his daughter chose his wife, giving him an excuse for his upcoming speech. Everyone admired the queen's beauty, except the borrowed holy sword, who sensed something was off. Eventually, Komama and the queen won the championship, and everyone clapped joyfully. The event concluded with the entire kindergarten dancing together, and Princess was invited to join, clearly enjoying herself. Finally, the Demon King stepped up to give a speech, his identity having been openly acknowledged, but Princess and the Holy Sword remained convinced that he was merely a proxy. Komama, now a champion, came over to celebrate with Princess. Seeing the queen, Princess admired her beauty and reflected on how enjoyable her imprisonment had been today. Yuki and Inky grew up as close friends. During their student days, they considered their future careers. Inky wanted to bring joy and smiles to others, so she decided to join the Demon King's army as an interrogator. Yuki only then realized that the old interrogations were quite brutal, unlike the recent, milder ones. Inky believed that to be an interrogator, she had to change her tense nature. She initially wanted to invite Yuki to become an interrogator with her, but wished for Yuki to decide her future independently. When Yuki asked Inky what she thought would be a good future for her, Inky advised her to pursue her hobbies. However, Yuki felt she could only see her hobbies as such, not as a career. Thus, she decided to become an interrogator too, maintaining her friendship with Inky, who was very pleased with this decision. However, Yuki and Inky were deemed unqualified by the Demon King during the interrogator promotion exam. Therefore, they had to discuss with Princess, who didn't consider them enemies, but rather as both friends and foes. Coincidentally, Princess had already completed her interrogation for the day. Unexpectedly, Princess had an energy core in her chest. She explained to them that interrogation is like combat, where one must identify and exploit the enemy's weakness. For instance, even the Demon King must have something he cherishes. Curious about when the next promotion exam would be, Princess was told by Yuki that they could request one from the Demon King at any time. The Holy Sword criticized the promotion system as being too perfunctory. Subsequently, Yuki and Inky went to see the Demon King for their exam, this time bringing Komama along. Seeing his daughter, the Demon King immediately gave in, allowing both to advance in rank with Komama. Recently, Mommy took Princess to a hot spring, and having finished her interrogation for the day, decided to take her out for ice cream. Walking on a quiet nighttime path, freshly bathed and enjoying the cool breeze, Mommy shared how delightful a walk could be, something Princess had never considered enjoyable, as she was not free to go out in the Empire. They took a longer route, intending to relish the walk together. The night was silent, the stars bright, and as they listened to the water and wind, Mommy explained the stars to Princess, making it a truly liberating and joyful conversation. Mommy told Princess there was much more to discover, suggesting they take their time. Upon seeing a shooting star, both made a wish, but ended up buying hot meat buns at the store since winter was approaching. They agreed to take a different route back, with Princess reflecting on how enjoyable walking truly was. The interrogation continued, and Yuki and Inky successfully advanced in rank. Below them, Vanilla was disdainful, believing true interrogation should instill fear, reveal secrets, and elicit pleas. Determined to show Princess what real interrogation was, Vanilla was surprised to learn of her family's reputation as cold and ruthless vampires. She intended to frighten Princess speechless, but ended up taking her to a roller coaster, where Princess looked forward with anticipation. Doga suggested Vanilla ride too, claiming Princess might reveal secrets on the ride, and if Vanilla was afraid, he could join. Refusing to admit fear, Vanilla was terrified. Before Princess could speak, Vanilla confessed out of fear. Princess noticed Vanilla's fear of roller coasters, praising her bravery for confronting her fears for the sake of interrogation. Holding Vanilla's hand, Princess reassured her, impressing and comforting her, even though the interrogation failed. However, Vanilla was actually quite happy and even gave Princess the chance to ask her secrets. Instead, Princess asked Vanilla which attraction she liked best. Since they were at the amusement park, they should all enjoy themselves thoroughly. Goodness, Vanilla was almost swooning with excitement. Today, Doga was on a business trip. and the person in charge was absent, so the interrogation of Princess was temporarily paused. Lying in his hotel room after the trip, Doga was about to fall asleep when he remembered he hadn't eaten. He quickly got up. Usually, he would cook at home, but being out, he had to settle for junk food. He put a sausage into a cheese bun, which was delicious. Although tasty, it wasn't sophisticated, so Doga found it hard to recommend to others. It was just an appetizer. The main meal was yet to come: oil tofu ramen. He first tried a bite of the ramen, then sipped some broth and gently bit into the oil tofu, sucking out its delicious juice. After finishing the ramen, there was still frozen pudding in the fridge. Doga couldn't help but feel this was too sinful. Having eaten a lot the night before, Doga planned to eat a salad the next morning, but then an employee shouted that the honey butter bread was just out of the oven. Helpless against freshly baked goods, Doga couldn't resist. On the other hand, the duty chief of staff, Brujay, heard that the Demon King was injured. Although it was just a minor injury to his usual hand, Brujay thought the Demon King's shield could block all damage. Could it be that the Demon King was fighting someone formidable? We need to go back to yesterday morning. The Demon King's wife, Lulun, started making sweets with Kamama. The old father, Demon King, was by his wife and daughter's side. Kamama saw her mother pouring butter into a bowl and saying they had to wait 20 minutes until it softened. Seeing his daughter's disappointed face, the Demon King quickly used magic to soften the butter. That was the magic Brujay felt. Then Lulun and her daughter finished making cookies. While pressing the molds, Kamama decided to make the biggest cookie. The Demon King was proud, noting his daughter's greed for cookies far exceeded his own. When the cookies were baked, Kamama excitedly jumped at her mother. Lulun was caught off guard, and the cookies fell. But at the critical moment, the Demon King caught both his wife and the cookies, though he burned his hand in the process. He reassured his daughter that such a minor injury was nothing, but Kamama felt terribly guilty and quickly bandaged her father's burn, apologizing for her mistake. The family joyously enjoyed the cookies, but Brujay was still pondering which formidable person the Demon King had fought. Meanwhile, Doga resumed the interrogation of Princess, but first sent over some cookies made by Kamama. Princess wanted to invite her to eat together, but Doga said they would wait until after the interrogation. Doga then pulled out a box of tea from the torture tools and revealed that she had learned Princess loved drinking tea. Princess felt nostalgic, as she indeed used to enjoy tea parties, but it was just a diplomatic pretense. Her actual favorites were cola and soda, which the honor knights would buy for her after each training session. Doga silently starts heating the teapot. Princess admires his skill. Properly brewed, the black tea tastes exceptionally sweet. Princess, having not drunk it for a while, finds herself nostalgic. However, she is determined not to be fooled today, as she still has Kamama's dessert. With this treat, she won't be tempted. Yet opening it reveals adorable cookies. Just after tasting one, Princess realizes something is amiss. A warm drink would be perfect now. She suspects this might have been Doga's plan. Doga tells her not to overthink. He didn't know what dessert Kamama had given. Princess reminds herself to think carefully. Initially, she drank black tea only for social etiquette, but on reflection, she quite likes it. Eventually, she confesses. They both enjoy Kamama's dessert while sipping black tea. The Demon King also receives information that a mysterious treasure is buried in the royal tomb, which could breach the kingdom's defenses. He is intrigued but feels it's inappropriate to disturb ancestral graves. He is known for his professional integrity. Vanilla comes to interrogate Princess, thinking Princess had forgotten her. Yet, having met only once, Princess remembers her name, which touches Vanilla. She claims she's here for revenge, to scare Princess. She then reveals a cake she made under her parents' hopeful gazes. Vanilla believes that once Princess knows it's homemade, she'll be moved to tears and plead for a slice. At this moment, Aches criticizes the cake's messy appearance, with poorly applied cream and a big face on top. Vanilla tries to stay spirited, but grows increasingly sad, having put serious effort into the cake. However, Princess speaks up, telling Aches that although the cream looks chaotic, it's clearly made with care. The creator wanted to ensure plenty of cream was enjoyed, hence the multiple layers, though misshapen. Princess also recognizes the big face as a very cute penguin. Vanilla's spirits lift. Oops, she might be won over by Princess. Princess says the cake looks delicious, but as a princess, she definitely won't confess. Unexpectedly, Vanilla bursts into tears, tells Princess no need to confess, and just eat. Though confused, Princess starts eating. Hearing Princess praise the cake makes Vanilla very happy. The only unhappy one is X, being dragged to cut the cake, wondering if anyone still remembers it's a sacred sword. Hearing Vanilla has failed to interrogate twice, Kanji thinks it's a matter of dignity. The Demon King nods and decides to get help for Vanilla. A new interrogation begins on a beach. Doga's plan involves beach wrestling. The simple rule, whoever pops the balloon on the opponent's head wins. AX questions if this is really an interrogation. Princess counters, what if she wins? Yuki Inky thinks it's unlikely, as they are the reigning champions of the Demon King's beach wrestling tournament. Princess is unlikely to win against them. Doga also stated that if Princess won, he would grant any of her wishes, including her release. As the match began, Yuki and Inky immediately moved forward with Plan B. However, before they could get close, Princess popped the balloon on their heads. Yuki was in disbelief, and Aix was speechless. After all, Princess is the captain of the kingdom's 3rd Night Brigade. Competing with her in sports seemed like a sure loss. Despite appearing playful, Princess admitted she indeed loved to play. From a young age, she trained with a Knight of Honor, mastering top-notch swordsmanship. Even when Yuki pulled out a water gun, Princess easily blocked the shots. Doga, who was used to seeing Princess relax, almost forgot her sword skills were among the best in the kingdom's military. Realizing the situation, he knew he might actually have to release her, but it wasn't appropriate for him to intervene as the rules stated only Yuki and Inky were the opponents. After some internal struggle, Doga decided to involve all his teammates, turning the interrogation into a chaotic free-for-all. Princess had a great time and played joyfully all day. Princess returned to the prison with her balloon still intact and smoothly locked herself back in chains before falling asleep. Aix, realizing late, exclaimed, "What about her release?" Meanwhile, after failing twice, Lucius made another attempt, but was caught red-handed by the Demon King. The Demon King, mistaking Lucius for a lost human, understood the panic of humans who wandered there. He even mentioned he was just passing by after attending a voice actor's autograph session. Hearing this, Lucius doubted demons would attend such events, suspecting it was a secret signal. Deciding to use his ultimate move, Lucius fired a laser cannon, but the Demon King seemed to vanish. Lucius, having exerted too much force, fell off a cliff. Unexpectedly, the Demon King saved him, noting they only have one life, and recognized the emblem Lucius wore as from an anime series he also enjoyed. Sharing similar views on the anime, they apologized and became friends over the emblem. Lucius realized not all demons were bad. Their enemy should only be the Demon King and his army. He even planned to discuss anime with him at their next meeting, but due to the time spent, the rescue mission for Princess was postponed. It seemed the kingdom's army was equally evasive. Elsewhere, Vanilla felt lonely playing games alone. As a noble's daughter, she had to maintain her composure, but she recalled the fun at the amusement park and decided to interrogate Princess, not to play. Vanilla took playing cards to Princess, telling her they could play if she shared a secret. Princess admitted playing cards was fun and had even sharpened her will when she played with the Knight of Honor as a child. However, as fun as they were, she wouldn't reveal any secrets. So, Princess resisted the temptation. Vanilla, disheartened, begged Princess just to share any secret. Princess realized Vanilla might just want to play with her. Vanilla quickly objected, stating that as someone from a noble family, she did not need friends. Seeing this, Princess felt a sense of déjà vu and decided to share a secret. She revealed that she too once believed she didn't need friends, until a girl who frequently joined her for tea parties betrayed her on the battlefield, leading to Princess killing her in self-defense. This experience made her realize the importance of having friends. Hearing this, Vanilla broke down in tears and admitted she needed friends too. They then played poker together. Meanwhile, the Demon King learned about Princess's desire for friends and remarked that making friends was indeed wonderful. Today's interrogation was led by Kroll, who brought a small white dog. Princess, now a declared cat person after bonding with a cat, insisted she would not be swayed by a mere dog. However, when Kroll gave Princess a ball that the dog fetched repeatedly, she couldn't help but pet the dog. almost succumbing to its charm. Despite claiming she wouldn't get too attached to animals, Princess struggled to maintain her resolve when faced with the dog's expectant look. As the dog rolled over, Aix warned her to look away, but her resolve broke and she ended up petting the dog extensively. She even drew a map of the kingdom's army's secret underground passages. The king, upon receiving the map, decided to send a team of ninjas to scout the area. However, Kanaji, one of the ninjas, confessed his dream of becoming a children's book author and his plan to resign from the Demon King's army. Despite his family's expectations, he had always harbored this dream and wanted to pursue it once more. Facing the Demon King, Kanaji lost his courage, fearing it was too late to start a new career. To his surprise, the Demon King encouraged him, saying it's never too late to follow one's dreams. Kanaji then resigned successfully. Meanwhile, Princess realized she was dreaming. Once aware, her dream took bizarre turns, but she quickly figured that she could confess anything in exchange for treats in her dream. When Doga came to interrogate her, he found her already asleep and leaking secrets. Aix wanted to wake her, but listened as she shared personal details, including how Aix's support helped her become a knight. She also praised Doga's cooking and expressed her happiness in becoming friends with him. Doga, feeling helpless, let her continue resting. Princess woke up in the evening, unaware of her inadvertent disclosures, and believed she had won the day. The next day, an error occurred in the Demon King's army's research lab, causing everyone in Demon King's city to turn into children, including the Demon King himself. However, Princess, being human, did not transform. She almost confessed before the interrogation began, when she saw little Doga trying to interrogate her. Doga then brought out some rock candy, which looked very cute, and began to taste it. Princess nearly knelt through the floor. She couldn't resist such an adorable child version of Doga. Just then, Doga introduced a candy drawing game. When Princess drew the biggest piece of candy, Doga praised her greatly. Seeing this, Princess gave the candy to Doga, who ate it with a happy expression. Princess confessed on the spot, revealing the existence of a secret night order only loyal to the king, called the Zero Night Order. Doga, delighted, jumped around, and Princess felt instantly healed. Aix realized that now that the Demon King's army had all turned into children, their defenses might be weak enough to escape. However, at that moment, Yuki and Inky, now very cute in their smaller forms, insisted on playing with Princess. Soon, Kroll, Mummy, and Vanilla also arrived. Surrounded by the children, Princess felt very satisfied, and Aix gave up thinking. The following day, Doga had grown a bit, now appearing around middle school age. She mentioned that the magic would slowly diminish, but the interrogation would continue. However, Doga seemed hesitant, saying today's interrogation would be meat stewed with potatoes. Before Princess could protest, Doga blushed and said she would cancel it for today as her cooking skills had reverted to that age when she couldn't cook, and often hurt herself trying to make this dish. Worried about the taste, she was ready to give up. Facing the unconfident Doga, Princess immediately encouraged her, insisting that she believed the stew would taste great, and she would definitely confess. Doga was moved, and Aix sarcastically asked whose side Princess was really on. After eating the potato stew and praising Doga for its deliciousness, Princess confessed. "I'm really disappointed in you, Princess," said Aix. Meanwhile, the Demon King, back to his younger state, felt restless and eager to do something. Kanaji remarked that youth was just like that. Later, Doga returned to her normal state and declared that today's interrogation would involve pizza. Princess, though she loved pizza, worried that Doga might not bring her favorite flavor. However, Doga handed her a flyer, saying she could order anything from it if she confessed. Princess's expression faltered, but she quickly regained her composure, declaring she wouldn't be corrupted by sweet temptations, as choosing just one kind of pizza was like choosing just one citizen, which as a royal, she wouldn't do. Doga then told Princess she could order a mixed pizza platter. So, Princess confessed. Doga obtained the secret location of the king's meditation site. Meanwhile, the Demon King heard that a ninja had won a newcomer award for a picture book. The ninja remarked it was just good luck, but the Demon King said it wasn't luck, but the result of the ninja's persistence. The ninja was deeply moved. Vanilla becomes happy just thinking about being friends with Princess and can't help but want to ask her out. However, due to her status, She hesitates to lower her guard and wants Princess to invite her instead. But Vanilla knows it's not about status. It's because she lacks the courage and blames the circumstances instead. So Vanilla decides to muster the courage to invite Princess, though she doesn't know where to take her. At this time, Princess is in prison, watching videos on her phone, reminiscing about skating with the Royal Knights during her childhood, and mentioning she hasn't skated in a long time. Observing this, Vanilla decides on the skating rink. Her family, being part of the Demon King's most ruthless assassination squad and of high nobility, is traditionally unscrupulous. Her father, the current head of the family, panics and rushes to his wife, insisting on booking the entire skating rink. His wife, initially wanting to calm him, becomes supportive when she hears their daughter wants to go skating with a friend and decides to book the venue at any cost. For this day, Vanilla even prepares new clothes and takes Princess to the privately booked rink. Princess is amazed and thinks highly of Vanilla, mistaking the outing for an interrogation. Vanilla, stuck, doesn't clarify that it's not an interrogation. Princess lets Vanilla try skating first, vowing to resist any temptations. Disheartened, Vanilla, who forgot he can't skate, regrets not clarifying the purpose of their outing more than ever as he almost falls. Just then, Princess rushes over and catches him, calling him a heartbreaker. As Princess holds him, Vanilla tearfully says there's no need for secrets. When Princess asks if he wanted to hang out, she sees Vanilla is too shy to admit it. Deciding to share a secret anyway, she reveals a tip to improve skating skills. She then skates with Vanilla, complimenting his outfit as adorable. Vanilla is overwhelmed by her kindness. When Doga comes to interrogate Princess the next day, he finds her somewhat subdued, and even the magical sword axe isn't making sarcastic remarks. Despite Princess denying feeling unwell, Doga conducts a temperature check, finds she has a fever, and decides to cancel the interrogation, tucking both Princess and Axe into a warm bed. Princess used to camp often during military marches and could sleep even by the hardest rocks. Now, she finds staying in the Demon King's castle more comfortable than in her own kingdom. Doga has even prepared meals for the sick and a special pudding for today. While Princess rests, Doga works beside her, taking care of her. When the Demon King learns that Princess is ill and that Doga is looking after her, he hopes she recovers soon. Knowing the temperature varies greatly in the demon world and humans are fragile, he decides Princess should always sleep in bed from now on. Recently recovered, Princess finds Doga looking downhearted. It turns out personnel changes are imminent, meaning Doga's role might change, possibly his last day interrogating Princess. Although interrogators rarely move, it's not unheard of to be sent to the front line. Not just Doga, but Yuki, Inky, and others known to Princess might be transferred. Upset by this, Princess wishes to have lunch with them even if they are moved. Knowing today might be the last, she firmly refuses to reveal any secrets, believing Doga alone cannot extract them. Realizing her stance, Doga gathers everyone Princess knows for a collective interrogation, and they all spend the day together, dining and playing. The next day, the personnel announcement is made, and Doga smiles upon reading it. Princess rushes to Doga, happy to know they won't be separated. Everyone is joyful, and Princess confesses. However, soon after, the Demon King informs Princess that they accidentally teleported to another world. That day, to play basketball, he gathered everyone, and both he and Princess were struck by lightning, but survived, reborn in another world. Waking up 2 hours before Princess, the Demon King learns they must save this world to return home. Dominated by a figure known as the Dark King, the people suffer. To defeat him, they must first conquer his 4 generals, which the Demon King does effortlessly, along with someone even more powerful than the generals. Finding a portal, he enters and defeats the Dark King's loyal servants easily. Facing the Dark King, who reveals that only the Sky Holy Sword can defeat him, the Demon King first tries to strike him with his sword, but to no effect. The Dark King attacks, but the Demon King easily blocks it. Realizing his sword is ineffective, he uses his fists to beat the Dark King into submission, who then begs for mercy. After defeating the Dark King, the Demon King returned to the cabin, only to find that Princess had just woken up. So, in the end, it took the Demon King just 2 hours to save the other world. The Demon King explained that he usually acts cautiously, but could not forgive the Dark King's evil deeds. Additionally, being a fan of anime, He was thrilled about being reincarnated in another world and couldn't resist taking action. X and Princess marveled that their proxy was so powerful, worrying that their kingdom's army might be in danger. However, the Demon King stated that the kingdom's army was still stronger overall, and that overpowering enemies physically was uninteresting. Unknown to others, the Demon King had become a hero in the other world. Now, back in the real world, he and Princess started a basketball game. My goodness, after a whole season, was it really the Demon King who saved the world?